Welcome, my friends, to the darkest corners. Today's tales are haunting and mysterious. Please enjoy. Please interact with the channel. It means a lot to me. Please like, subscribe, and if you dislike, please dislike. It helps the algorithm gods for YouTube and also helps me learn what topics to write about and narrate. Thank you so much. Have a great week. The house that learned my name. Poltergeists aren't like ghosts. Ghosts repeat. Poltergeists react. I didn't know that when I moved into the house on Briarwood Lane. If I had, I would have burned the lease and slept in my car. The house was cheap. Too cheap. 3 bedrooms, unfinished basement, and a detached garage that smelled like oil and rot. The realtor said the previous tenants left suddenly. That was her exact wording. I thought it meant foreclosure or a divorce. The first night, nothing happened. The second night, I heard footsteps above me. I was alone. They weren't heavy. No creaking boards, no stomping. Just soft, deliberate steps, pacing back and forth across the upstairs hallway. When I went to check, the hallway was empty. The air felt colder, like I'd opened a freezer door. I told myself, houses settle, old beams shift, brains fill in the gaps. That explanation lasted exactly 3 days. On the 4th night, the knocking started. Not on the door, on the walls. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 knocks again, always at exactly 3:17 a.m. When I knocked back, because fear makes you do stupid things, the knocking stopped. Then something knocked from inside the closet behind me. That was the first time I slept with the lights on. Objects began to move after that. Small things at first, keys vanishing and reappearing in impossible places, chairs pulled away from the table like someone had just stood up. Cabinet doors open every morning, no matter how carefully I closed them the night before. But it wasn't random. It was responsive. When I got angry, things flew. The first time I shouted, a glass flew off the counter and shattered against the wall, nowhere near where gravity would have taken it. The second time, the TV turned itself on at full volume, static screaming through the speakers until I unplugged it. The third time, the house screamed back. A deep vibrating sound rolled through the walls, rattling windows and making my teeth buzz. It felt like the house itself was furious. That's when I noticed something else. The house was learning. It learned my routine. It learned what scared me. And eventually, it learned my name. I was half asleep on the couch when I heard it whispered from the hallway. Not a voice, more like breath-shaping sound. Daniel. I froze. No echo, no direction, just my name, spoken with certainty. I ran. I didn't even grab my phone, just bolted for the front door. It slammed shut before I reached it. The locks clicked. One by one, every door in the house began to slam, upstairs and down, as if something was running through the rooms at impossible speed. The walls shook. Pictures flew off nails. The ceiling light above me shattered, raining glass. And over it all, laughter. Not human laughter, too layered, too distorted, like multiple mouths trying to laugh through the same throat. I screamed for it to stop. Everything went silent. Then I felt it behind me, not touching, hovering, pressing the air close and tight like standing at the edge of a cliff. The whisper returned, closer now. You noticed. The basement door creaked open on its own. I don't remember going down the stairs. I just remember being at the bottom, staring at the concrete floor. Names were carved into it. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Some crossed out, some scratched so deeply the concrete had split. At the very bottom, freshly carved, dust still white and powdery. Daniel. That's when I understood. The poltergeist wasn't haunting the house. The house was feeding it, Fear, anger, attention, names. The ones crossed out, they were the ones who fought back, the ones who screamed, the ones who ran. I left the house the next morning. At least, I think I did. Because sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear footsteps above me. And last night, just once, I heard someone whisper my name again. But this time, it didn't sound like it was coming from the house. It sounded like it was coming from inside me. The house was already awake. The moving truck arrived at exactly 6:12 p.m. Later, we would realize the time mattered. At first, the house on Hawthorne Drive looked perfect. 2 stories, wraparound porch, white siding that glowed softly in the evening light. The neighborhood was quiet, in the way suburbs always are, where everything feels watched but nothing seems alive. The listing said, "Recently renovated." It didn't say why. We were a family of 4, me, my wife Claire, and our 2 kids, Evan, 12, and Lily, 8. This was supposed to be our fresh start. The moment we stepped inside, Lily stopped. "Someone's still here," she said. Claire laughed it off. Kids say things like that. But Lily wasn't smiling. The air inside the house felt used, heavy, like too many people had breathed it and never left. The smell wasn't rot or mold. It was old warmth, like blankets that hadn't cooled down yet. That first night, the house made sounds. Not the normal settling creaks. These were deliberate. Footsteps that stopped when we stopped listening. Doors that sighed open just enough to be noticed. At 2:14 a.m., every door on the second floor closed at the same time. We woke to the sound together. By morning, Lily refused to sleep in her room. "She watches from the corner," Lily whispered. "She doesn't like when I move." We checked every corner, every closet, nothing. On the 3rd day, we found the family photo. It was framed neatly on the mantel. Not ours. A man, a woman, and 2 children, posed in the living room we were standing in. Same walls, same staircase behind them. The faces had been scratched out, deeply. Claire wanted to call the realtor. I wanted to believe it was a cruel prank. Then the house started rearranging itself. Furniture shifted overnight. Chairs lined up, facing the hallway like an audience. The TV turned on by itself, playing home videos, grainy footage of a family laughing, eating dinner, opening Christmas presents. Each night, the videos ended the same way. Static, then screaming. The kids changed too. Evan stopped talking much. He stood at the top of the stairs for long periods, staring down into the dark like he was waiting for something to come up. Lily started setting an extra place at the table. "For her," she said. I finally went into the basement. The renovation had avoided it entirely. The walls were covered in writing, names, dates, apologies carved into the concrete. Beneath a single bare bulb was a message written in blackened handprints. "We never left. You just moved in." That night, the doors locked themselves. Windows sealed shut. The house breathed, deep, rhythmic inhalations through the vents, exhaling warm air that smelled like dust and decay. A voice came through the walls, not one voice, many overlapping. "Stay." The family from the photo appeared in the hallway. Not solid, not ghosts, more like impressions burned into the air. The mother smiled at Claire. The father knelt beside Evan. The little girl took Lily's hand, and the house relaxed. In the morning, the neighborhood noticed something strange. The lights were on. The lawn was trimmed. A family could be seen through the windows, moving naturally through the rooms. When the realtor came by weeks later, she smiled. "Such a beautiful home," she said. "The last residents left suddenly, too." She didn't notice the extra faces watching from the upstairs windows, or the new family photo on the mantel. All the faces intact,